In my capacity as Rebetzin of a very large kehillah, I can honestly tell you that on my past visit to the Kosel HaMa'aravi, I stood at that wall and there was only one tefillah that I could say, and it was, Bi'ad Amech Rachmim Shali. I have personally sat recently in the last 2 years with many, many children, teenagers, who have lost their parents. And the first thing I think I can honestly tell you from my experience, having been with these families, is that when you're going to make a shivah visit, it is not about you. And when you walk through that door, put yourself away. You are there for them, and you are there to respond to them. Anything that's about you is gone. Despite having said that, I'd like to open with a thought that goes through my mind every time I walk out of a shivah house. Shlomo HaMelech tells us in Koheles, Tov laleches lebeis avel, milaleches lebeis mishteh, v'hachai yitein elibo. It is better to go to a house of mourning than it is to go to the greatest, happiest, most amazing party. V'hachai yitein elibo. Pay attention to your own life. There is nothing more jarring, more awakening, than sitting with somebody who has never lost a parent, lost a sibling, lost their child, Rahmana litzlan, than appreciating who we have and what we have. Recently, I left a shivah visit where I was sitting with a woman from my kehillah who had just, within the span of 4 years, lost all 5 of her siblings. Everyone lived long and productive and frum lives, Baruch Hashem. And she sat there and she just said, I'm alone. That's it. Who I was and where I came from, I'm the only one carrying that now. V'hachai yitein el libo. We have to appreciate when we have, what we have, who we have, our spouses, our children, our siblings, our parents. V'hachai yitein el libo. What is life about? El libo, pay attention to yourself and what is your own life about. Why are you living and what are you living for? That is the message you can take with you from the shivah house. When you walk in that door, it's about them. And when you walk in that door, you turn off your phone before you walk in that door. And you're going to walk in there and you're going to sit down and you have absolutely no expectations. You are there and you are there to react and not to proact. The halacha tells us that the halacha of making a shivah visit, of being a mevaker, a shivah, is one that requires us to be there, to sit. It is not to say anything, it is not to do anything, other than the hamakom yunachem that we say when we leave the house. I'd like to share with you what I think is a very powerful and potent mashal in my own life that I use for many circumstances that I really think applies when we make a shivah visit. Whatever we've been through in our own lives are our own personal experiences. And whatever somebody else is going through, that is their experience, and it is completely different. We can watch families of 5, 10 children sitting shivah for the same parent. They grew up in the same home. And these children will each be reacting so differently because everyone is going through a personal experience. The mashal that I would like to share with you is a specific mashal, dealing specifically with, did these people lose someone suddenly? Was it a shock? Or did this person suffer through, Rahmana litzlan, a long, trying illness and was now nifter from the world? I have personally a special needs child who has limited cognitive awareness. He is a very, very happy and good-natured child, and basically all he knows is love and affection, and he lives with besimcha, with that love and affection. I always am afraid when we have to go to the pediatrician and I know that he's going to get a shot, because I'm aware that he is just so warm and embracing, and he loves our pediatrician, and he thinks he's funny, and he has no anticipation of the fact that he is about to be hurt with that shot. And he cries such bitter tears, such howling cries when that shot comes, because it is with such shock. And I always say that I don't know what's better or worse. The mother who walks into the pediatrician's office, whose kids are already crying because they know they're in the pediatrician's office, and they know they're going to get shots, and they won't go in, and they're struggling with them, and they fight with them, and they kick and yell and scream, and they need the stickers and the lollies and the Band-Aids and whatever else to calm them down. And they scream before the shot, and they scream through the shot, and they scream after the shot. And on the other hand, my kid screams so much more after that shot because of the shock of it coming so suddenly. The cases are so very different, and we can't say what's better. Losing someone, lahavdil, is painful. It is so painful if it came as a shock or if it came with a warning after a long time. We are not there to judge. The people who are sitting there are in pain, and we are there. The nechama of a shivah visit is that you came. That you came to show that you care, and that you came to show that Klal Yisrael, we mourn together. And when you sit down there, as we know the halacha prescribes, we don't open our mouths. We don't say anything. And if that person who is sitting shivah wants to talk to us, they will. And if they don't, our job is to sit, to be there. In that inherently is a very powerful message. Sometimes your words will not help. Sometimes you need just to be there. When that person does open their mouth and begins to talk to you, then it's your opportunity to respond. Then it's your opportunity to offer words of nechama. Then it's your opportunity to offer words of chizuk. I know from the many avelim that I've dealt with, the last thing any avel wants to hear is, I know what you're feeling. Nobody else knows what anyone else is feeling. Only the one who is chonein das knows our das. We were not chonein anybody das. We do not know what they're thinking. We do not know what they're feeling. We may have been through whatever we've been through in our lives. And I can always say that a person who has been through any kind of pain relates to anybody else's pain. Relates because they understand the pain of suffering, the pain of emptiness, the pain of not understanding the ways of Hashem, Nistarim Drachav. But other than that, even if we went through the exact same circumstance, we don't know what that other person is feeling. We don't know what background went into their relationship with their loved one. We don't know how whatever that background is going to affect how they are reacting to the situation of having lost them. We are there to validate. We are there to give chizuk in saying, I understand. It's so painful. I'm there for you. If we knew the nifter, I always say that when I go to shivah visits, I'm astounded sometimes about unaware people are of the halacha of what shivah visits are about. When we go to be menachem someone at a shivah visit, the star of the shivah visit is the nifter. That is who is supposed to be spoken about. I've heard all kinds of ridiculous conversations going on in a shivah home. We want, if we knew the nifter, we want to go on and tell this person how special they were. Go on and talk to this person. Ask them, where was your mother from? Where did she grow up? Tell me what made her the person she was. Find out what contributions did this person make to the world, to their life. That's what the person sitting shivah, that's what they want to talk about. If they want to talk, they want to tell you how great their loved one was, how much they lost, but who they were. No one wants to hear, it's okay, they lived a good life. It is fantastic to see the koach of the bond of parents and children. This is why, over and over, throughout the Torah and Chazal, Kadosh Baruch Hu compares his relationship with Klal Yisrael to the relationship of parents and children. A child who lost a parent doesn't care if their mama was 119 years old. They lost their mother. And it is beautiful that they had arichos yamim v'shanim. But to try to tell them that they don't deserve to be in pain is ridiculous. They lost their mother. They lost the person that brought them into the world. They lost the person that cared for them. They lost the person that sang them their lullabies. They lost the person who taught them all the basics and all the greatest things they know. And it doesn't matter how long they lived. What matters at that point in time is that they lost them. One of my first memories from a Beis Avel is a memory that happened on I think it was my 9th birthday. On my 9th birthday, my mother woke me up and said, "Happy birthday, sweetheart." And then said, "I'm really sorry, but your favorite tanta just left the world." And my tanta was 44 years old. Talking a long time ago, but if I can make a plug for it, I will. She smoked. And she stopped smoking when it came out about how dangerous it was. But it was too late for her lungs. She was nifteres at 44 years old. Mrs. Rachel Adler, Yehi Zichra Baruch. And I was very close with my aunt. And I think my cousins at the time were 19 and 21. And they were sitting shivah for their mother. And I was a very cute 9-year-old kid. And my mother, this was my mother's aunt, she was actually my great aunt. My mother grew up in a Yekish home, and the Yekish people are very strict with the spirit of what NICHUM Avelim is all about. Children do not belong in a shivah home. And my mother brought me, I was 9 years old. And my cousin asked her to take me out because it was making him too happy to have me there. A shivah home is not a happy place. It's not a place to talk about all the wonderful and fantastic things that are going on in your life. The Yekisha Minhag, which I think is actually Minhag Klal Yisrael, although many people don't stick to it, that children are not in a shivah home, is because they are too misameach. They bring simcha to people so much that it may distract from the avelos. This shivah home is a place where we're talking about the fact that a neshama from Klal Yisrael left this world. And we're meant to be focused on that. We're meant to be focused on that pain. When we think about the parting message that we take out of a shivah house, which is Hamakom Yinachim Eschem Besoch Sha'ar Avelei Tzion V'Yerushalayim, is the concept that every time we go to a shivah home, we are visiting Churvos Yerushalayim. We are entering a place where people are experiencing the Golus Hashchina like no other. Golus Hashchina is, I don't understand. Golus Hashchina is, it doesn't make sense. Golus Hashchina is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why is there so much pain in this world? Hamakom Yinachem Oschem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should comfort you. The only one that can comfort us from this pain is the one who is comforting Avelei Tzion. And when we think about the pain of Avelei Tzion, we think of something that is enduring in Klal Yisrael forever, until Bias Goel. And when we're part of that pain in Eretz Yisrael, there's an additional line that's added to this hamakom. It is lo tosifu leda'ava od. You shouldn't have any more pain in your life. That somehow HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bring a time where we end all pain. But right now, as I part from you, I'm going to say this to you. And after that, I'm not going to say a further message. That's the message I walk out of a shivah house with. There is pain in Klal Yisrael. The pain in Klal Yisrael is valid. When we lose someone, we say, Dayan ha'emes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you know what you're doing, but we don't understand. When that person ripped their clothing, they were ripping a part of themselves, and they were ripping along with every single person in Klal Yisrael who is an avel for the tsar of Klal Yisrael. That is the tsar that we still don't have a Beis HaMikdash. That is a tsar that we still don't understand. We don't understand why young people are sick and are nifter. We don't understand why we lose people before their prime. We don't understand why elderly people need to suffer illness before leaving this world. We don't understand why we need to go through life knowing that we're going to lose people that we love. We don't understand why Klal Yisrael is still in Golus. And when we sit in that shivah house, we are there to confirm that Klal Yisrael in Golus is a Klal Yisrael of strength. And our strength is that we will be there for each other. And Mirz Hashem, we will all continue to be there for one another, and we'll reach that point Bekarov of lo tosifu leda'ava od. Everything you feel right now is fine and normal. No one can tell you, feel this, do that, go there. Right now, there is no wrong or right. Right now, you need to let yourself feel whatever it is you're feeling. And don't let anyone judge you. And don't let anyone you don't want to talk to you. Now is your time to feel for yourself. Whatever you're going through right now is so, so hard. And there is no one who knows what you're going through like you do. Reach out to the people who you think can give you chizuk. If somebody's going to offer you to talk to you, who you think really might be able to strengthen you, grab it. But know yourself and know what you can take. Know that so many of your friends just don't know what to say to you right now. They care about you so much, but they really just don't know what to say. And sometimes the best thing you can do for them is tell them how you're feeling. I really don't want to talk about it right now. I really don't feel like talking right now. I really would rather right now not talk about the pain in my life. I'd rather talk about what's going on in school, and I'd rather you treat me like I'm normal. Whatever you want, you need to tell them. They are not rocket scientists. They are not psychologists. They're not teachers. They're not rabbis. They're your friends. And they care about you. And they're not going to know how to treat you or how to talk to you unless you're able somehow to tell them. And you'd be surprised at how quickly, if you tell them, they're going to know what to do because they're your friends and they really want to do what's best for you.